In Book 1 of the De Inventione, Cicero divides the exordium into two species, introduction and insinuation. The orator decides which of the two to use based on the audience's attitude toward the case he will be arguing, although both the introduction and the insinuation aim at priming audience members to be receptive and prepared for what will follow in the oration. Depending on the type of case the orator argues, whether honorable, difficult, mean, ambiguous, or obscure, Cicero provides specific advice on whether to use an introduction or insinuation. Essentially, if the case is difficult, meaning the audience can be characterized as completely hostile to your position, an insinuation should be used instead of an introduction. Cicero then further divides his advice on insinuations into three circumstances, according to the three different sources that an audience's hostility can arise from: the scandalous nature of the case, the strength of your opponent's argument, or weariness. Today, given my aim is to construct an insinuation that attempts to subtly introduce and defend Orestes' murder of his mother Clytemnestra, which would be classified as a difficult case in which the audience's hostility arises from the scandalous nature of Orestes' act, the topics that Cicero outlines in 1.24 of the De Inventione are most applicable, and the ones I will utilize. In his discussion of difficult insinuations in which the hostility of the audience arises from the case's scandalous nature, such as Orestes' matricide, for example, Cicero provides 6 main topics in order for the orator to follow. First, at the beginning of the insinuation, Cicero instructs the orator to replace the individual or thing which is offensive to the audience with another individual or thing which is favored by the audience. Furthermore, at least for the first few moments, Cicero advises the orator to hide his intention to defend the individual, thing, or topic which the audience expects him to defend. Then, when the audience has grown less averse to you and more malleable to your intentions, Cicero suggests the orator begins hinting toward the defense while simultaneously building rapport with the audience by asserting that the same things which are offensive to the audience are offensive to him. At this point, the orator should show that he and his client are not guilty of that which the court wishes to accuse them of. Additionally, the orator should claim he will not criticize or attack his opponents while simultaneously and subtly ostracizing the audience's goodwill from the opponent. Finally, Cicero advises the orator to refer to a decision from a higher authority in a similar case as being worthy of imitation, and to demonstrate the parallel nature, and thus what should be the parallel decision, of that previous case and this current case. I am, like I presume all of you are, principally concerned with justice being served. In all cases, in all situations, ensuring justice is a task we must keep at the forefront of our minds. Like the other values we hold so dearly, justice plays an imperative role in sustaining our treasured republic and keeping it from corruption, chaos, and depravity. Each of us can sleep at night knowing justice will be standing guard, watching over us, and God forbid if any wrong is committed against us in our slumber that we cannot defend against, we know she will exact revenge for us here, in the court of law, and ensure our transgressors receive due punishment. Justice, our guardian angel, is appalled by gratuitous violence. Put another way, violence just for violence's sake. Cold-blooded murder brings justice to her knees, and she has no tolerance for these brutish, grotesque acts. Neither do I, nor do you. I could not stand in front of you today asking for your forgiveness for such an inexcusable act. Such would result in the height of my shame. I share the same distaste for and am equally offended as you are by these demonstrations of gratuitous violence. Moreover, I am sure that we are all in agreement that the gods especially would have no tolerance for gratuitous violence. Or, at the very least, I am sure we would all agree that the gods, by virtue of their superior wisdom and understanding, would rule justly, and would know when violence is sanctioned as opposed to unsanctioned. If the gods, or more specifically Athena, the goddess of wisdom herself, ruled that an individual should be exonerated from their crimes, which one of us would dare hesitate and tell her that she was wrong in her judgment? Furthermore, if any one of us here today was commanded by one of the gods to carry out a deed which would be construed as a crime, who would dare disobey them, let alone disobey the great god Apollo? Therefore, I believe the possibility of a crime being sanctioned should be entertained and further explored. Importantly, today I will not engage in an attack or condemnation of the late Clytemnestra. Regardless of the instrumental role that Clytemnestra played in the murder of Orestes' father, a life lost still evokes great sadness in our hearts due to our sensitivities as human beings. The remorse Orestes feels is unspeakable. The bond between a mother and her son is unbreakable, no matter the wrongs that have been committed by both sides. We all mourn Clytemnestra here today, and I am sure Orestes mourns her as well. In summary, today I am here to simply defer to the gods' judgment and to their higher wisdom, attempting to follow in their footsteps and to mimic their authority, as I believe we all find it worthy of imitation. If the gods have ruled that not all violence is worthy of punishment, we too must consider the possibility that violence might be excused in certain circumstances. We are not being true Roman countrymen unless we give every defendant open ears and open hearts.